Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Health Bar. Thank you so much again for everyone who is watching this, listening. Again, I say this every week. I really appreciate it. And if any of this hits one person that is struggling and decides to kind of open up and talk about their mental health, then this podcast is doing something. So I really appreciate everyone with the likes, the shares, everything. We've also started our new TikTok, Twitter and YouTube channels just dedicated for the Health Bar, which is great. So all the links and that will be in the comment and descriptions of all the places that this is going out. So as I say, it's Spotify and YouTube and on the Twitch channel as well, or my own Twitch channel. So yeah, this week though, we always start off with my mental health for the week. And my mental health for the week, yeah, it's another positive one. I can't complain this week. The weather's great. It's been super sunny, which obviously always makes everyone's lives a little bit kind of more happier normally. At the weekend, I actually went and met up with a couple of guys from the Discord channel that we are part of, which was really good. So we went out, had a couple of beers and some lunch, and that was awesome. So anxiety obviously always is a little bit high meeting new people, but it's quite funny. We all had the same kind of similar feelings, but then when you meet them, you know them from online anyway, so it kind of just flows and it's nice and easy. So, which was wicked. It was really, really good fun. So, yes, positives for this week, which is great. The next thing we do is we talk about gaming news and mental health gaming news. Again, it's quite hard to find it all, but it was the missus. So the missus was watching TV and watching Netflix as she does while she's working and other things and in the evenings. And she came across a program. She actually stopped it and thought that I would like it. So the program is actually called, I'm going to have to read this. I apologize. So it's Web of Make-Believe, Death, Lies, and the Internet. And I believe it was episode 1. And on that episode, it was about swatting. Now, I know that's more America than kind of here in the UK. But if you don't know what swatting is, it's when someone sends the police around or the SWAT team around to your house and say that there's a murder happening or there's a kidnapping or something like that while someone's live streaming, and then the police break down the door and the live stream and someone gets arrested live on stream, etc. But the program is amazing. Documentary is amazing, but it is so emotional, like really emotional, because stuff happens. It happened in America, and stuff happens, and someone innocent dies, and it's horrendous. But you can see there's a lot of mental health issues with the people that are obviously doing it because they're trying to get attention and etc. And that's part of the gaming, obviously, because they were gaming and being swine. So I do recommend watching it. As I say, it is a bit hard hitting, but have a watch. And I think that's it was a really interesting documentary. Cool. So we now have a guest. Really nice. This is Mr. Sneaks. He basically I think we followed each other on TikTok for quite a while because we do similar content with gaming, which is Escape from Tarkov, and I put some of the podcast stuff onto TikTok, and he kind of reached out and said that it was really good and would like to come on, and here he is, which is awesome. So without further ado, let's introduce, if I get this right as always, is Mr. Sneaks. How are we doing?
How you doing, man? Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yourself?
Yes, very well, and I hope you're coping in the heat.
Yeah, it's obnoxiously warm. I've been teaching all day. I've been wearing a suit, and yeah, it's been damp.
Yeah,
It's been very damp.
Perfect. So, Mr. Sneaks, that's introduce yourself. Obviously, what games you play. Obviously, if you stream, background, etc. And we'll go from there.
So, I'm Mr. Sneaks. I've been streaming on Twitch for about a year and a half, roughly. Started in January last year. wanted to do some charity streams. That was the reason that I got into
Nice.
streaming.
Yeah.
After kind of during lockdown and stuff like that, I felt like I hadn't done anything and I couldn't go out and run a marathon, and my knees are shot to pieces from playing too much rugby.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that wouldn't go too well. So I was like, I'll try to do a 24-hour stream for Macmillan, and then
Amazing.
started streaming, fell in love with it, met some wonderful people.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it ever since, and it's an awful lot of fun.
That's
An
awesome.
awful lot of fun.
That's amazing.
Other than that, like outside of streaming and the internet, I play in a band, I teach,
Nice.
which obviously takes up an awful lot of my time.
Yes.
I try when I've got enough time to put some like YouTube tutorials together for Tarkov.
Yeah.
Using the whole teaching thing, so I do it in a suit and a tie. And I take a
Nice.
photo of my classroom from my OBS background when I'm recording it. I'm trying to go for that like unique selling point. It
I like
hasn't
that.
got me anywhere yet, and like I haven't quit teaching, so I'm not making any money off it, but I'm enjoying it, and it's pretty fun. So because I just get home from work, put some shorts on, and then start recording the videos,
Yeah.
and like it's a nice distraction from the working in
Yes.
education for 9 years.
9 years. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Yes, I like that idea of the content. I think it's wicked because there's that guy, I can never remember his name, but he dresses up in a blue Twitch suit, and he does content. I really can't remember what it is with the content he actually does. So, but he's huge, and it's all because of the fact of what he's doing, with regards to that. And I love that. So I think that's a wicked USP, mate. I think keep it that for sure. Definitely keep it that.
It just saves me 5 minutes getting changed
Yeah.
before I have to start recording videos. Like,
Very true, very true. Cool, nice. So obviously background wise on gaming, like you play Escape from Tarkov now. What did you kind of play before that? Has it always been like FPS kind of games?
a lot of up until I got with my fiance, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I was console only, pretty much. I played PC when I was a kid, but then when I moved out, and just the convenience of getting a console
100%.
and lack of room and finances to buy a decent PC and everything else, the usual thing. I played a lot of console, I played a lot of Call of Duty back in the day, with the obnoxiously toxic, usually very racist. Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. So I played that kind of. I was in one of the top EU amateur clans.
Oh, amazing.
For Modern Warfare 2. I was definitely hard carried by everyone else, so I'm pretty trash. And then when I got with my fiance, she's a massive computer nerd. She used to play semi-pro Counter-Strike.
Oh wow, amazing.
And I wanted her to start playing again because she hadn't played in so long. So I ended up buying a gaming laptop and then started sweating Counter-Strike.
Amazing.
Went to a LAN 3 months after I bought a PC and started learning how to use keyboard and mouse and competed in it.
Oh my god.
It was a little bit of a mental couple of months. And then I got into Twitch pretty late as well. So I started watching some people, started watching Northern Lion. He does a lot of variety content. Found a guy, Dan Giesling, through him, who then co-commentates the Punisher tournament with Pestilli, and then got into Tarkov through them, and then ended up in OCE Tarkov land.
Yes.
Falling in with a terrible crowd with people like Usk and Red Ops. Met some wonderful people through their streams, started streaming, and then they've been nothing but wonderfully supportive. So my first 24-hour stream, I've been streaming 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Red Ops raided me.
Oh my god.
With 600 people. Because Pestilli had raided him beforehand. So I'll have to send you a Discord photo. Because I got a mate of mine screenshot when the raid came in my face. He's like, shit, what am I supposed to do? I've been doing this 2 weeks. I'm really bad at this game. But literally, it was my first full wipe.
Oh my god.
And
that's amazing.
it's just been going ever since, and it's great.
That's all. I mean,
really, really good.
I agree. There are some communities out there, as you mentioned, Modern Warfare 2, that I always remember being very, very, very toxic. And the Tarkov community, like I've been in it like for quite a while now, so I think this might be my 8th wipe, maybe something crazy like that. And it's only ever been, I mean, yes, there's always toxic people, there is in every game, don't get me wrong, but I think it's been brilliant. Like the community,
for the most part, it's
yes,
so positive,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
I mean, like the reason that I wanted to do the charity stuff is because Pestilli, Veritas, all of these lads, like the ICE Tarkov boys, do a charity thing between them every year, and
yes,
like so many people. Glorious does all the stuff for St Jude's and all the charity stuff, and I was like, well, why don't I do that?
Yep.
Like, I can bully my mates on social media that don't necessarily watch Twitch or
Yep.
play computer games to sponsor me to do this, and I started doing it, and I've grown a small but really, really wicked group of people. I mean,
Yeah,
some of my
nice.
mods I'm now inviting to my wedding next year.
Amazing.
And some of the boys that I play with regularly, because I talk to them every day. I talk to a lot of those people that I've met from playing
Yeah.
Escape from Tarkov more than I speak to IRL mates that I might not see until like once or twice a month, because through touring in a band and playing shows, I know a lot of people like all over the country. So I might not see one of my mates from Bristol for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
But I'll speak to these idiots that I've met on the internet like every day.
Do you know, it's so weird because we actually spoke about that when I met up with the guys at the weekend, and I speak to them every day. Like every single day. We've got a WhatsApp group, like obviously we've got Discord chats, like the whole lot, and we speak to them every single day. And you are right, like my real life friends, like a lot of them are down south and I'm living up north at the moment, so I don't get to see anyone for like, 6 months, a year, whatever, but as you say, you are in contact with these people constantly, and for me, from my mental health side, it's been amazing. Like, actually amazing. And through COVID, the whole lot, like being kind of locked down and not being able to do anything, I think gamers were very lucky because they still had a support group of their gaming friends, really.
Oh, no, 100%. 100%. I mean, so my fiance had just gone self-employed just before the first lockdown as a barber.
Oh, wow.
So she didn't work for 2 years, basically.
Yeah.
I think her first year's tax return, she earned like 40 quid.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
And then the year after, it was like 400. Like, it was nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, the money that I'd put aside to start saving up to buy a flat and blah, 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 that all kind of went out the window.
Yeah.
But she plays an awful lot of World of Warcraft with people that she's known for years through playing Counter-Strike and WoW.
Nice.
And that really helped her out, because we've been living in a double bedroom for like a while now, saving up.
Yeah.
So I was teaching lessons and she was literally sat next to me, because both of our gaming PCs are in the same room. So I'll stream and she's sat next to me raiding on WoW, so you can hear her being incredibly toxic in the background, like on my VODs and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. But it was a massive help for mental health, because then I'd finish teaching for the day and then we jump on Counter-Strike and we play Counter-Strike all night. And we hang out with some people that we randomly met playing Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
it was a real help.
Yeah.
And like, I really struggled with my mental health over lockdown massively, because I'm a bit of a gym freak. I love working out. I love going to the gym. That really helps my mental health. That's like my place where I can just stick some music on. I can go and pick heavy things up, put them down again, and I come out of there an hour and a half, 2 hours later, and I feel better.
Yes.
Because I've gone through, over the past 10, 12 years, I've gone through an awful lot of stuff. I had a divorce. My best mate died.
Oh, wow.
I ended up having a bit of a mental breakdown. That all happened in the space of 4 months, by the way.
Oh, my God.
So I split up with my wife, and the woman that I'd been with for 10 years. And then about 4 months later, my best mate died in a car crash.
Oh.
That all went on whilst I was dealing with working in a school that requires improvement and special measures for Ofsted. So there was all that pressure, and I ended up I lost the plot, and I ended up moving. I moved to the Midlands for like 3 months.
Oh, really?
I just had to get out of there. I was like, no, I'm done. See you later.
Yeah.
Fully running away from my problems, and then I ended up getting a text message from my boss going, "We haven't filled your job up yet. Come home."
Yeah.
And I did. But I needed that 3 months away. But over lockdown, being absolutely hammered in the media as a teacher, by
of course,
by the government, by the media, by random people on Facebook, including relatives,
Ugh.
complaining about how teachers weren't supporting their kids, and I'm like, I'm literally restructuring every lesson so I can teach it over
Yeah.
Microsoft Teams, which is fucking
Yeah,
awful.
yeah, very much so.
And trying to teach all this and trying to get kids through a GCSE that we didn't even know was going to happen or not.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I wasn't going into work, I was teaching
Yeah.
every day, and I was probably working harder than I'd worked
Yep.
in school.
Yeah, definitely.
Being able to just switch all that stuff off and play some games,
Yeah.
and get incredibly upset with how horrifically punishing Tarkov is,
Yeah.
was great. It really
Yeah.
helped. It was incredibly cathartic. Accidentally loading into my first ever raid on Tarkov.
Yep.
Right, I went, well, that map says easy, or the lowest
Yeah.
level of hard. So I went in, didn't realise that it was the times, and I went into nighttime factory with a pistol with no
Oh.
torch. And this was before the factory expansion, so when it was dark.
Yes.
And I got killed by a scav and nearly had a heart attack in real life and thought I was going to need to phone an ambulance. It was horrific. And I fell in love with it there and then because it actually made me feel stress.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and sheer terror.
Yep.
And yeah, that's how I got into Tarkov. Very, very slowly and very badly. I think I played 4 raids of my first wipe and then uninstalled the game because I couldn't cope. I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm just going to watch Twitch and I'm going to learn how to play.
it.
And then next wipe, yeah, it was
amazing.
It's definitely a steep learning curve.
Oh my god, that game really is. It really, really is. But that's really interesting. Like, it's quite interesting you say about the old gym kind of thing because everyone says like with especially mental health wise, like you do need an outlet for sure, you know. And mine very much is. It's not really gaming. It is streaming, but it's talking to people is my kind of outlet. Is definitely my thing. And you know, even if I'm streaming and I've got people in the chat, that's amazing. I'll still I'll stop the game and hide in the bush to chat to people, you know, because that's the main kind of thing for me is to get me through, and it's brilliant. And you know, when I first had my breakdown, they kind of obviously said like, you need to go to the gym, you need to go out for walks, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I did start to go to the gym, I did go out for walks. I mean, it was hard. As everyone knows, if you are going through something, that first step is just the hardest thing. And even now, I still admit it, I still find it hard to get out of the house. Like again, always say every week, I am very lucky. I've got my little one. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I have to go out with him, you know, for lessons and classes, which is amazing because if I didn't have him, it would be a total different story. So very lucky. And I was speaking to Talkie the other week on the podcast, and he was obviously mentioning about the gym, and he is again. Very similar to you, he said he found it very, very difficult through COVID because he could not get to the gym, and he said he's not a like a absolute buffhead and wants to kind of just get ripped. He wants to go there to. It's his space. It's his own space, his own time, and you know, and I think everyone needs that. And it's I think it's
even if I go with my fiance. I'll stick my headphones in, I'll go and do my thing, she'll go and do hers. I'm still on my own.
Yes.
And I can just get things out. And I, as much as streaming for me is definitely a lot more about the conversation because I'm not great at the game. I enjoy myself. I have a lot of fun playing the game.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to be like... I'm never going to win a gunfight against Glorious E.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I'm going to get absolutely dunked on hard, and I'm going to feel privileged that he shot me in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna go into his chat and I'll say thank you.
Yeah.
then I'll leave. But like, it's definitely about the conversation, and that the conversation really, really helps. If I've had a really shitty day at work, and I go home. I'll eat some dinner, I'll chill out for a bit, I'll switch stream on, and I'll do some duos, I'll do some solo stuff, and I'll hang out and I'll chat with people, and that's great. But the gym really, really helps me to feel like I've got stuff off my chest.
Yeah.
Like, I am terrible, and I've always been it. I am stereotypical bloke. I am the worst at talking about my feelings,
Yep.
how I feel about a situation, or crying
Yeah.
I'm terrible for it, and I know how bad it is. Like, I can probably count in the last 5 years how many times I've cried.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably twice, and I don't think my missus has seen me cry once.
Yeah.
Because I won't do it.
Yeah.
I won't do it, and I'll cry at the most dumb stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, I'll be watching a film.
Yeah.
Like, it happened years ago. So my nan died when I was in year 9, so I was like 13 or 14, my mum's mum. And she had cancer, and it was almost a relief that she went because she was in so much pain and whatever else.
Yeah.
But I didn't cry. And I don't think I really processed it, and I didn't process it properly. And then about 6 months later, I was watching Gladiator.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when at the end, and seriously, if you haven't watched Gladiator and you're going to get upset at me for spoiling a film that came out about 15 years ago.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
When he's going home to his family, I just lost it. My mum's walked into the front room and was like, "Are you all right?" And I'm just like, "It's parents." Like, I was a wreck. And then I spoke to my mum later, and I was like, "I think that was about Nan." And she was like, "It's taking you." I was like, "Yeah." And then that was it. Like, I cried for about 30 seconds, and then it was done.
Yeah.
And then it was probably about another 5 years after that I cried again. Like,
it is a very male, and I think it is a very male, thing to do. And I am very similar. I will bottle my feelings up, and it will then just come out, as you say. And what was I watching the other day? I was watching something, and I think it was something really stupid. It was either a TikTok or something like that, and I started kind of like just, I started to go, and I'm like, what the hell is going? But again, it's that thing I've not cried for. Yeah, I've not cried for so long. It was probably something that's all just built up and just in general, and that was it. And then, as you say, it's like 30 seconds or whatever, done, and off we go again. And
then I'm fine. Yeah.
And it is. I think it is a very male thing, and we all know that about male suicide is obviously higher and all that kind of stuff, and it is the fact that we're still in this world, and it's still very an old school mentality of, the male has to
don't cry,
exactly, man up, don't cry, and you've got to be out there earning a living so you can buy the house, you can look after your wife, and you look after the kids, and blah blah blah. And we're in a total different world now that doesn't exist, but it really does in people. I think, especially our age group. I truly think that. It is that, and it's always been there, because I always remember mum, it's that same thing, isn't it? You fall over and hate yourself, and it's like, come on, just get up. And don't get me wrong, I still did it with my little one now, but it was, the same with like, my granddad, and it's such a old mentality of just rub dirt in it and get off, and there's no such thing as mental health, back then, that it stuck with a lot of people,
Oh, yeah, no, 100%, 100%, and it's so unhealthy because it's such a societally inbred culture.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because it's so ingrained. It's like the whole being. So I'm a history teacher, right?
Oh, okay.
And like that. And at university, I looked at a lot of like kind of social history and stuff like that. And it's like the whole, oh well, women are over emotional and blah blah blah, which is why they can't vote and they can't do this, and they should look after the children. They shouldn't get into politics, and they can't do these kind of jobs because they're weak, and they're actually in touch with their emotions, and if they feel like shit, they can cry about it and feel better. Whereas I'll watch a TikTok 6 months after something incredibly traumatic's happened to me, burst into tears for 3.5 seconds, and then I'll go to the gym and pick things up that are heavy and feel good. Like, and I know how bad it is. This is the thing. Like, I'll talk about it and then go, it's so bad for you, and it's so unhealthy to not be able to express your emotions in any other way than getting pissed off and punching something. Because that's what I do. I'll get angry. And then I'll go to the gym and I'll lift things up and put them down again until I can't do it again. Because I've just exhausted myself. And it's that, but I can't stop myself from not doing that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, the good thing about it is that You know, you are, and that I think is such a massive step and such a positive thing. You know, out of all of that, you say, you know, it is negative and you shouldn't ever kind of, you know, you should have your emotions. But, and I'm very similar, I know, you know,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't help. But I know that it's not right and you should open up more. But again, it's that whole thing. I think, you know, I'm hitting 40 this year. And the fact is that, you know, I've had 40 years of not doing it. So it's not going to change. Like, or if it will change, it's going to take a frigging long time for that to kind of change. And it's that thing, you know. But yeah, I mean, this is again why we do the podcast, because, you know, is that thing of just talking about it. And if you listen to this and think, actually, you know, I am struggling, we should talk about it more, I'll go and talk to whoever. And I always say this, talk to, you know, at the bottom of the screen, we've got here scrolling, you know, for the people that are watching it, you know, the Samaritans, Mind and Calm, like 3 big charities here in the UK. Pick up the phone and just, you know, and again, even if you pick up the phone, you put it down, and pick up the phone, do 3 digits and put it down, it doesn't matter, because every time you're getting closer to actually speaking to
one
someone.
step closer to actually doing something about it.
Exactly.
And this is one of the reasons I wanted to be a part about it, because it's such a huge thing. I think it's such a huge thing for gamers, and it's such a huge thing for male gamers as well, because so many people will go, I'm just going to live my life on this game because I feel like shit and like the real world's rubbish. And as much as it is an escape, I feel like there can be a point where it gets to being detrimental, because you're not
100%
dealing with it. And actually this year for Mind, I've done. So last year I raised £1,500 for them, because I did £2,000 for Macmillan, and I did £1,500 for Mind.
Jeez, that's amazing.
And then this year we've done another grand already. So my next 24-hour stream, I want to try and raise £5,000 this year for Mind, because mental health is so important. And like, I've had a lot of friends take their lives. I've definitely considered it in the past. Like, I've self-harmed, I've done all of that stuff. I've got a fairly destructive personality, especially when I was younger. I definitely overindulged, shall we say, in narcotics. I drank a lot. I did a lot of drugs. Me and my dad didn't have the best relationship.
Right, okay.
And that got physical at times, because I'm 6'4" and a rugby player, and he's 6'4" and a rugby player.
Gee.
So when we had a row, when I was like 16, 17, 18, I would front him, because I was the alternative kid at school that played sports. So I was big, I was muscly, and people wanted to fight me. And I started fighting back. And then when it got to the point where I was like, no, I actually can get physical with my old man, I did. And it got nasty. We've got a far better relationship now. But all of that stuff happening, I think, kind of spiraled in college. And when I first went to university, like, I spent far more money on drugs than textbooks. Ended up dropping out the first time, working for a bit, and then going back to uni and kind of sorting my shit out. But I was on antipsychotics for a period of time after that, because I had a full-on breakdown. I wasn't sleeping. Like, when I get really stressed, I don't sleep.
Oh, really?
It's bad.
Wow.
I don't sleep, and I was getting night terrors, and like, so they literally put me on these like mad strong antipsychotics that were also sleeping tablets. So I'd take one 20 minutes later, I'd literally be unconscious. Like,
wow.
Nearly burnt my mate's house down once, because I took one and I was smoking a cigarette and fell asleep and dropped it down the side of his couch. We never found it. So God knows where it went, but like, he literally had to roll me off his couch, and then was digging around trying to find his cigarette, because I nearly set fire to his couch.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's like, I've got to be really, really careful with. I think this is why streaming's so good for me as well, because if I do go out, like, and I know that it's what I drive a lot as well. So if I drive somewhere when I'm going out, I won't start smashing the beers too much. Like, I was straight edge for 10 years, so I was completely sober, didn't smoke, didn't drink.
Wow.
from like 19 to 29, and
Yeah.
then all that other stuff that we can talk about in a bit happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, streaming has definitely really helped me kind of get that social aspect in my life that I can't necessarily get because work is so
Yes.
busy at the moment.
Yeah.
Coming back after lockdown, the pressure on the education system has been insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I've been exhausted. Like I've been working basically 7-day weeks, to the point where I nearly got out of education completely.
Yeah.
I was looking at actually getting to counselling. I did like an
Oh,
introduction to
really?
counselling course. Yeah, and it's something I want to pursue.
Yep.
But now I found this. I've just started a new job. So I
Yep.
started a new job last week. So I'm out of mainstream education. I was just teaching secondary. I was a head of department. And I was sick and tired of the education system. It wasn't the school. I loved the school. I loved the department that I worked with, and I
Yep.
still do. It was the education system putting all this pressure on teachers immediately after coming back after lockdown, when we're literally trying to rebuild everything because a lot of these kids haven't had an education for 2 years.
Yeah.
They haven't
Yeah.
had any form of like behavior management or,
Yeah.
you know. But I've started a new job and I'm working at a short stay school. So it's it used to be called Prues. So there's 2 sites. There's one that's like kids that are medically vulnerable, so they could have real high SEND needs,
Yep.
special educational needs, or they could have some serious safeguarding issues, like serious risk of harm to
Yes.
themselves and
Yep.
stuff like that. And then the other site, which I'm mainly working at, which is for older kids, but a lot of them have been like permanently excluded from schools,
Yeah.
or they're on their last legs before they get kicked out. And I've been there a week. And I love it, and I don't think I'm going to leave this kind of side of education because
That's
I'm
awesome.
working with small classes.
Yep.
And you can build that relationship and get so
Oh my
much
God,
more
yeah.
out of them than teaching a class of 30.
Yeah.
And I loved my time as teaching, but the last 2 years of it have just been so draining on me physically and mentally. I need a work-life balance.
Yeah.
I want to do more
Yeah.
stuff. I want to stream more. I want to record more YouTube videos. I want
Yeah.
to spend more time with my soon-to-be wife.
Exactly. A
And I'll
life.
go,
Have a life.
sorry,
Yeah.
we can't go out because I've got 60 books to mark and a load of assessments this weekend.
Yep.
Like it's just not. It's not it.
No.
And I mean, yeah, I get summer holidays and stuff like that, but I spend that entire 6 weeks planning. I'm just
Yeah.
sat in shorts and a t-shirt, not in a suit. You know,
People really don't understand, and I think that's a lot of like, you know, with regards to you know, education, especially obviously we can only obviously talk about obviously what's happening here in the UK, but like education and like NHS, you know, these two,
100%.
and it always makes me laugh because I know I've got some people that are school friends, like friends that work in schools and things like that, and are teachers, and it always makes me laugh because they always get like obviously people moaning at them because, you know, oh my God, you get the 6 weeks off and you get this and get that, but as you mentioned, you come home and then you've either got marking, lesson plans for the next day, you know, whatever it is, and so everyone thinks that your day finishes at 3:45 or whatever it used to be. I don't even know what it is in schools now.
Yeah, start at 8, leave at 3. Yeah,
all that type of stuff. No, because obviously you're in early, then you either stay there late or you're taking your work home, and as you say, then you're not like spending time with the missus, or you are, but not really because you're in the same room, but you're not really doing it because you're working still. And it's the same with the NHS. Like, I know people that work in kind of like psychology and things like that, and again, they're seeing people like for obviously, especially like mental health problems at the moment. They're seeing a lot of people for mental health problems, but the time they actually get to spend with them is nothing because of the fact they're understaffed. They then can only spend 5 minutes with someone, and how are you ever supposed to know what's going on?
Diagnose a problem.
I mean, i.e., we're probably 30 minutes in, you know, and we're having this amazing conversation and we're getting to know kind of each other, you know, but that's still 30 minutes, and we could probably talk a lot more and get a lot more
100%.
out, you know, and you know, and that's the hardest thing, and I truly believe that with teachers and the NHS, and yeah, so for you to kind of, as you say, you have found this kind of, you know, pocket for you, which is amazing. It's going to give you, I think, job satisfaction, because it sounds already, what you were mentioning earlier, it sounds like you're going to have really nice job satisfaction and, as you say, more personal time with the students. And a lifestyle balance because you can now spend more time with the missus and like friends and band and etc.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because I mean, having a maximum class size of 4 or 5, I can mark those books
Yeah.
in like 20 minutes, and it's not. I'm not going to have much take home.
Yeah.
There's still going to be a lot of planning and stuff,
Of course.
but it's very, very different stress.
Yeah.
It's incredibly intense because you're basically with the kids all day.
Yeah.
But when they go, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, I can chill out for a minute, get my marking done, plan any lessons that I need to do for the next day, and I can go home.
Yeah.
And if I need to do some more work in the evening, I'm actually happy to do it. I'm
Yes.
not sitting there going, why have I got to do this?
Yeah.
This is a pain in the arse. This is just because the Department of Education want to change stuff straight after a pandemic. All of this absolute bullshit they've been throwing at us left, right, and centre. So
yeah, totally agree. So you were mentioning earlier, obviously your kind of lifestyle, I suppose, and you were mentioning, your mental health and things like that, and obviously drug abuse and etc. And then you said about in your 29 onwards. So from 29 onwards, you said you've been good, in a good place?
Better. So when I was 29, I'd been married then for 8 years. I got married pretty young.
Yeah.
I got married at like 21.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I went into that and we both went into it with all the best intentions. Like, I was definitely madly in love.
Yeah.
But it ran its course, and it got to a point where for like 2 years, looking back at it in hindsight, like, I just started full-time teaching with the school that I'd gone into special measures, which basically means you get Ofsteded every month to see if you're improving. If they don't, they basically shut the school down.
Oh, wow.
So which was incredibly stressful.
Yes.
I was blaming a lot of my depression because I was depressed. I was absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
I was blaming that on work stress.
Yeah.
I ballooned in weight. I'd put on an absolute ton of weight. I think I went up to my heaviest. I was 22 stone.
Wow.
Bearing in mind when I was playing, so by the time I was 19, I was playing county level rugby.
Yeah.
And I was in the best fitness I've been in my life.
Yeah.
I was like the size of a house, but it was all muscle.
But healthy, yeah.
I think I had about 8% body fat, and that was just I was playing rugby 5 days a week. I was training with my dad's rugby club, and they were all 45 and 50.
Yeah.
So I was 18, 19, tackling blokes that were like twice my age and twice my weight.
Yeah.
But I was playing county level. I was playing for my college. I was playing for a club. I was doing all of this training, and I was like 17 stone. So I'd put on 5 stone of that, and it was just I was huge. And so when I put on all of that weight, like, that made me feel even worse because you have to go, well, I'm going to have to buy new shirts now, and I've gone from a large t-shirt to a double XL, and that double XL is now fitting me and just isn't baggy.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got to a point a year later that it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, I'm not in love with the woman that I'm living with anymore. It just feels like I'm living with a mate.
Yeah.
And so that was horrific because obviously I dropped this bombshell, which makes me, as much as I'm leaving her with the best intentions at heart, because I didn't want to do it to hurt her.
Yep.
But I also didn't want to get to a point where I ended up doing anything stupid, like cheat on her or anything like that.
Yep.
Because I was so miserable and I didn't have that connection with her anymore.
Yep.
So I wanted to leave her and so she could be happy.
Yep.
And she is now. I spoke to her the other day, and she's great. She's living with a bloke I used to go to college with him. He's a really nice guy.
Nice.
She's doing really well. So, but obviously at the time, I've just torn the rug from underneath her, gone, see you later. Like, I don't want anything to do, I don't want to be with you anymore. And it was, as much as it was hard for me, it was harder for her because I had, like, I could kind of processed it for like a month before I did anything. I'd gone and spoken to my mum. I had some real time to think on this and make sure that it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So there was all of that. I then, I basically signed everything over to her. I was like, because we'd been living in a house that we had together for a year. I was like, look, there's no point getting solicitors involved.
Yeah.
Just take it. Like, whatever. At the end of the day, it's only money. I'm going to end up spending more money on a solicitor arguing over 12 months of half a mortgage.
Yeah.
Because, like, her nan had died and left us a load of money in inheritance to buy the place. So it was her deposit anyway. I wasn't going to start. Like, I didn't do it to, get half of her stuff. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
It's money at the end of the day. That's not important to me. Her being happy and me being happy in the future were far more important than anything else.
100%. Yeah.
And then 4 months after that, 4 or 5 months after that, I'd started smoking and drinking again when that happened.
Yeah.
Because that was incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
In fact, the first thing I did after she drove off and went round her mum's is I went round to the shop and bought a packet of cigarettes. I didn't even think about it. I literally just walked round there.
Yeah.
And then my mate came round and the front door was still open. I was sat in the back garden chain smoking cigarettes, and I hadn't smoked in over 10 years.
Wow.
And I just fell back into it like that.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I ended up packing it in and vaping, and I knocked the drinking. So I'll still drink, but it'll be very infrequent.
Yep.
Just because it's mainly because I can't be bothered to go downstairs and make myself a gin and tonic. It's pure laziness more than anything else. But I also am very, very aware that I've got quite an addictive personality.
Right.
So if I start going, I'll have a drink on a Wednesday night, or I'll have a drink that I don't want it to get into that cycle of me starting to drink far more,
100%.
And then 4 or 5 months after that, I was in a bad way at work. Like, I wasn't great. It had massively affected my work. I think I'd had like a day off after the weekend when I split up with my ex.
Yeah.
But I still wasn't great. I was a mess, and I wasn't admitting I was a mess, but I wasn't eating.
Right.
In fact, the head of my school, the actual head of my school, was making me send her photos via email to make sure that I was eating food. She was bringing me food in because I was refusing to eat. I wasn't hungry because I also wasn't sleeping.
Yeah. Jeez.
Because I was so stressed with everything that was going on, and trying to maintain this. Oh no, I'm fine for the kids when I'm actually completely broken inside.
Yep.
So I just wasn't eating. I wasn't, I wasn't sleeping enough and everything else. I went outside for a cigarette, and there was like a church on the opposite side of the road. And I'm sat on the wall of the church having a smoke, and I get a message from my mate going, "Have you heard from Nick?" And I went, "No, what's happened?" She's gone, "I think he's had a car crash." And I started looking on her Facebook, and I phoned my mate because he's a barber.
Yeah.
And we were actually talking. It was a Thursday because we were talking 2 days before on Facebook Messenger, and I'd been into the barber to get my hair cut by him. We were talking 2 days before about going to Vietnam. Because I was single, and he was like, "Let's go to Vietnam."
Yeah, let's just go. Yeah,
like, we'll go. We'll do some mad stuff, and it'll be great. And then I found out that he had been in a car crash, and basically he'd lost control of his car. He had his son in the back. Hit another car on the other side of the road, flipped the car, and he was in a coma. Kid was absolutely fine. Didn't have a scratch on him.
Wow.
Not one. The kid was completely fine.
Wow.
And I ended up telling my boss that this had happened, and the boss, and we have since resolved this, and she felt incredibly guilty about saying this because she'd spoken to the head of the school, and the head of the school basically said, "Well, he's not next of kin, so he's got to be in work tomorrow." So I literally walked out the door. I walked out the door going, "Fuck the school, I'm done. See you later."
Yeah.
I started driving down to Brighton because I lived with Nick in Brighton because I lived down in Brighton for uni, and that's where we started our first band together. He was the vocalist of my band, and a load of the boys were still down in Brighton.
Yeah.
I had messaged all of them. I was like, "I'm going to pick you up. We're going to drive down to Southampton because he got airlifted to Southampton General Hospital."
Yeah. By
the time my dad had let me lift the house when I'd driven home, and I don't know how I drove home without crashing because I was in tears. By the time my dad had let me drive down to Brighton, I got a phone call when I got into Brighton and Nick was gone. It was game over. Mum and dad had switched him off because he was brain dead.
Yeah.
You know, I slipped off the wagon a little bit with the drugs that night.
Yeah.
I got absolutely battered, and that was the last time I did it. But obviously, my relationship with the school absolutely tanked because of that. Because I basically phoned in sick the next day after not sleeping at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I went, I'm not coming in. I'm in Brighton. My best friend's just died. I'm in no fit state to work.
Yeah.
And basically said, I'm going to leave and find a new job. So after dealing with all of that and basically having a breakdown, I ended up moving to, in the April afterwards, I ended up moving to, no, it was in that April, I got a job working at a school in Grantham, near Nottingham.
Yeah.
Went up there, was still in no fit state. I'd had a full-on breakdown and I hadn't let myself admit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had been drinking loads. I'd basically been doing whatever I wanted. Like, my work was an absolute joke.
Yeah.
I turned up at this school and got told that I was there to turn their GCSE grades around in the month that they had before their first exam.
Oh my
because
God.
they hadn't had a qualified history teacher since year 9. They were in year 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. So, you know, when they over-egg a job when you apply for one, they might as well have just interviewed me for a different fucking school, mate.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Jesus.
But just before that, I say met my fiance. I had got with my fiance because I've actually known her for years.
Okay.
She went to school with my sister. She's in the same year as my sister at school, so she's 3 years younger than me.
Yeah.
In fact, nearly 4 years younger than me because she's one of the younger ones of that year.
Yeah.
And she actually was best mates with the younger sister of my mate that I went to college with.
Oh, wow.
So, like, house parties and stuff, we always used to be there, and we used to be horribly rude to each other all the time. And then she made the worst mistake of her life and drunk text me. And then, 5 years later, she's going to be, next year, she's going to be making an even worse mistake and agreeing to marry me, the silly woman.
Amazing.
But since, honestly, other than some wobbles, and lockdown was definitely one of them.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Not being able to go to the gym and not having that routine. I didn't realise how much of a man the routine was, and I really am. Not being able to do that, it knocked me on my ass. It really did. Like, I was trying to do body weight stuff. It's just not the same.
Yep.
It wasn't like my own space, but it's definitely been an interesting few years.
No, for sure.
Me.
For sure.
But
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I always think that, like, when people say they have a go off the wagon or that type of thing, in the strangest possible way, I do think sometimes it's a good thing. Like, obviously, depending on how far you go with it, like, I do think it's a good thing because I think you get, if you have that kind of epiphany and you have that kind of moment of, what am I doing? Or as you meet someone, or, someone actually then kind of takes interest in you and you sit down and talk to someone and, I think all of a sudden, I think people need that blowout. They do. They do need that blowout. Obviously, depending how far and far you go, but I
truly within reason.
Yeah, I do. I truly believe it, and I think it is very helpful. It's just that as long as I always think that I'm very similar. I'm very lucky. Like, my other half is friggin' amazing. And I cannot, and she has helped me through so much. It's I can't even describe how much she's helped. And even from the littlest things of helping me get out of bed, to get into the shower, to get out, to walk out the house, to, that motivation, that little thing. And I do. And I do feel really, really for people that don't have that. And I'm not saying just go and have a relationship because of that, but I'm just saying that,
it just, sometimes it just works, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, literally, we went out for one drink.
Yeah.
After I'd been back from Brighton, DJing, because I used to DJ a fair bit as well.
Yeah.
And we went out for one drink, and we've essentially been inseparable ever since.
Nice.
Like it's just
clicked.
it's just worked, and like she does her own thing, I do my own thing, but we're together a lot of the time. And no, it's the same things. It's the little things, like I don't sleep enough because I teach, and then I try and content create.
Yeah.
And then I try and get up early and go to the gym before work. So she bullies me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I probably get a maximum of 6 hours sleep a night, which I know isn't good enough.
Yep.
But it's just, at the moment, like, I'll have a nap when I get home from work, which makes me sound so fucking old. But, like, I'll have, like, an hour nap when I go home from work, and I'll get on with work, or I'll stream or whatever. But, like, at the moment, I'm trying to juggle so many plates.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like, and hopefully, like, the work-life balance is going to be a little better when
for sure
we're moving into a new place, hopefully in a couple of months.
Nice.
Like, we're waiting for the mortgage to get finalised and stuff like that. So that's going to be like a weight off my shoulders and stuff, you know.
Yep.
But also being able to not stream in my bedroom and have a separate room for me to sleep and a separate room for me to content create / do work is going to be great.
Yes.
Because it means that I'm not going straight from marking a set of books or streaming to going, right, I need to go to bed because I've got to get up and work in 7 hours, and then not being able to switch off because there's not that separation.
Yeah.
And that's been a massive problem for me. But yeah, no, she's definitely done far more for me than she knows.
Yeah.
Because I hate talking about my problems. And I've never been able to do it, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but I've always been the one that people come to me to talk about their shit.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. I'm so happy to do that.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I've had lads from my stream message me and go, I'm having a really shit day, this has happened.
Yeah.
Like, I just need a vent. And one of them will occasionally say, don't reply to this. And then he'll send it to me, and then he'll delete it like a day later once I've read it.
Yeah.
And that'll be it, because it'll get it off his chest.
It'll get off his chest, yeah.
Or the stuff that I have to deal with and the stuff that I have had to deal with through teaching.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God, yeah.
I have been the person that someone has told, like, when, like, sexual assaults happen. That's happened to me.
Jeez.
And that's
yeah.
And I know this sounds weird, but the fact that students come to me, because essentially the reason that I got into teaching, it wasn't just because I'm a massive nerd and I love history.
Yeah.
The reason that I got into teaching is because I love to help people.
Yeah.
And I had such an amazing history teacher when I was at secondary school who had my back, because I wasn't a shit in class.
Yeah.
I was occasionally a loud knob, but I'm a loud knob as it is, so it's just part of my character. I was occasionally an idiot in class, but most of the time it was social problems because people wanted to, because I was big, people wanted to fight me. So I got into loads of fights.
Yeah.
At school. I got suspended from my secondary school like 5 times, and now I'm a secondary school teacher trying to teach people not to do that shit, which has actually helped me massively.
Yes.
Because explaining to the kids that I was them has really helped me as a teacher.
Yeah, I think there's a massive, amazing connection there, isn't it, for them to look at?
Yeah, 100%, because I was them.
Yeah.
I work in the same town that I grew up in, so the fact that I am essentially one of them, just a little bit older, is, I think, has really, really helped me kind of get a relationship with
Definitely.
A lot of them.
Yep.
But going back to what I was talking about, like the fact that people have come to me and they've told me this stuff, like students have come to me and they've told me this stuff that they haven't even told their parents. That's huge to me.
Yeah, it's massive.
That honestly means the world. As much as it's heartbreaking them telling me some of the stuff that they've gone through, or they've done to themselves, or has had, it's so heavy, and it's hard to deal with a lot of the time. But it means the world that they've told me that.
I mean, you've got to be so proud that people are coming to you. I mean, that's amazing. But then that show, I mean, you and me, we don't know each other, and we're speaking now, and I can get that sense from you already, and I love that. Like, people are happy to come and talk to you about their issues and their problems. And honestly, mate, you should be really proud, like really proud, because it's amazing.
It's the one thing that after dealing with all of the shit that I've been dealing with the education system as a whole, and I'm not going to get into the politics of it, because we will be talking for the next 6 hours and it will just be me ranting at you. But it's the one thing that's kept me going, is that I haven't wanted to let down the kids. And like when I told a lot of my current like year 10s that I was leaving, they were heartbroken. Like I had students crying at me because I was going, and like I wasn't actively looking for a new job, but it's a mate of mine that's running the school, and he offered me the job, and I was like, this is my chance to fall in love with teaching again. And I'm knackered because it's a new job, and it's super intense, but my God, and I feel so much better for it.
That's amazing.
Which is huge. And I've been there a week. Like, there's definitely going to be a shit day coming around the corner.
Of course.
But I've been teaching for 9 years. There's not much that they can throw at me that I haven't had thrown at me before, including chairs. So,
Honestly, teachers, I think they take so much shit they don't need to, and it's like I'm the same. I love talking to people, and I love being that person that people can come to and talk to me. And I really, and you feel a little bit proud of yourself that people are coming, and I love that, and but as a teacher, all the other shit I just couldn't. That's just got to be so. And then this is why I think, as you say, and what you mentioned with the new school, I think it sounds brilliant.
No, it's amazing. I'll tell you one thing that how I did definitely make my life more difficult for.
Go on.
Was using TikTok, because it turns out, and I don't know if you knew this, but the algorithm they use is location based.
Is it?
So, guess who found out that I was a streamer very quickly after I started uploading? I don't know if you've seen on my TikTok, but I literally had to put a statement up there because I kept getting followed by students, and I kept getting followed by students on Twitch.
Yeah.
And they kept coming into my channel, and like that was hard.
Yeah.
Because it started getting so constant. I was like, I'm going to have to knock this on the head.
Yeah.
Like, I have to knock it on his head because I can't.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this because it's dangerous.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Because, and I'm not mad at them because.
No, of course.
It's curiosity, right? If you found out when you was at secondary
school,
school,
God, I'd be straight on it.
That your kid was your teacher had a YouTube channel or a Twitch stream. My God, you'd be in there straight away.
Straight away, yep.
But I had to explain to so many kids, it's like, look, I can't stop you watching, and thank you very much for boosting my numbers up and make me look far more popular than I am. But you can't interact with me, and you can't join my Discord, because what happens if your mum finds out you're talking to your teacher outside of school?
Exactly.
I could lose my job.
Yeah.
I could go to prison.
Yeah.
And like a lot of them were super apologetic, and none of them were really, like a couple of them trolled me, but it was very, very pathetic and not very good.
Yeah.
But I grew up playing Modern Warfare 2, so I've got a far thicker skin than they actually know. Like, if this is the level of trolling on Fortnite, my God, they would not have survived with an Xbox 360, But
it's interesting you say that, because I had a friend of mine, and at the time, like he never told anyone that he was a policeman, and he was a YouTuber, but he never had Facebook, he never had Instagram, he never had anything like that, any personal stuff at all. But he was a YouTuber. And luckily, no one really knew him. He ended up getting to being a YouTube partner, and no one knew. Anyway, now he's not in the police, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, he was super worried about all that for a very, and especially being a policeman as well, because you're arresting someone and I recognise you, or do you know what I mean? And it's not.
I never expected it to happen because I kept it so separate. Like, I set up a new email address.
Yes.
I didn't have my surname as like my Twitch name. Like, I didn't do any of that.
Yep.
I didn't put it on any of my social media other than when I did the charity stream.
Yep.
And I play Escape from Tarkov. Most of these kids don't play console. They play FIFA,
Minecraft and FIFA and COD and
But some of them were actually so like. So the reason that I found out one of them was because she had joined my Discord and
Yeah.
had linked all of her social medias to her Discord
Oh, for
account.
God's
And I literally went up to her because I taught her like the day after. I was like, dude, really? She's like, I just thought it was really cool. And I was like, it really means a lot that you think it's cool that I do this stupid. I'm trying to make money on the internet by streaming and like being bad at video games. But like, I could go to prison. She was like, what? I was like, and then I explained it to her and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
But the maddest thing is,
like,
it only takes one of them. Only takes one person, and then it's all around the school.
It went round the school like wildfire.
Exactly.
And I had to have conversations with the head of the school.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she was like, can you keep a handle on it? Because otherwise you're going to have to end it. And that really pissed me off. Because she was like, you'll have to stop doing this thing that you love to do outside of...
being told what to do.
That kind of... But it did die down a little bit. Like some of the year 7s found out, oh, do you stream on Twitch? And I'm like, yes, but you can't do anything about it because you're not old enough to go on Twitch.
Go on Twitch, yeah, exactly.
I was once playing in the middle of one of Shifty's tournaments.
Yeah.
And one of them came in and asked for help with their geography homework. So I also teach geography. I was like, and literally one of my mods just instantly banned them. I was like, I am playing in a fucking tournament. Leave me alone. I'll deal with it on Monday.
Oh my God. That's bad.
I was in the middle of a gunfight at the time as well. It just popped up and I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
I love it.
But it was definitely that was definitely very stressful. But hopefully, because I'm toying with the idea of going back on TikTok, but I'm not too sure whether I'm going to risk it or not. It's just I think it's a little. It's a little too risky, you know, because, I mean, I was getting some really, really good engagement as well, which is a real shame, but the YouTube seems to be doing all right. I just need more time to put the videos together.
Yeah, it's hard because they always say, isn't it? It's one of them, if you want to get somewhere, and even Twitch CEO even said it the other week, didn't he, saying that, you know, if you're not in the top 30% of people that are going to, you know, Twitch are going to see you, he said go to other content, like go to other you know, and YouTube Shorts, and obviously Twitter, and then obviously TikTok's huge for it. It is really huge for it. Like, but as you say, I think, you know, it's that thing you've kind of have to, I suppose, play it by ear and see what happens.
I might leave it a bit, and then I might have to make it private again. You know, I'll just go from there. But I mean, I'm fairly pragmatic about the whole Twitch thing. Like, I was fairly pragmatic about the rugby thing. Like my dad had always said, like the statistic chance of you making it,
of course,
slim to none. And then hilariously a month before, I had a trial for London Wasps development team. Amazing. And the month before that happened, I dislocated my left knee and got told I'd never be able to play rugby again because I blew all the cartilage out of it. So yeah, luckily my dad was right. And I'd got my A-levels and stuff like that. And like, I'm approaching streaming as professionally as I can. Like, I've got a schedule and I try and do this and I try and do that. And I'm not just going to start randomly streaming unless I go, it's a Saturday, I'll stream. Because I do say that I'll stream some Saturdays.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to take it as professionally as I can, but 100%. I'm really pragmatic about it. But if I get to hang out with people and I get to hang out with people and make someone's day, and someone can hang out and enjoy themselves in my stream, and like, say I really like it when you stream because I get to chill out and I get to chat shit, and even if I'm having a bad day, I can just chat shit and I can forget about it for a bit, or I can vent, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Or there's I've got a channel in my Discord called Event Tent, so if people are having a bad day, like they can just go and fucking, I've had a shit day, people at work are arseholes, blah blah blah. Yeah. And it's totally fine, and I'm more than happy for that, because if I can, the people that watch my stream don't realise how much they have such a positive impact on my life.
Yes.
Because I get to chat shit with them. If I had a bad day, I can just hang out with some people that are calling me an idiot for being bad at a video game. And it's a laugh and it's good fun.
Definitely.
And then some of them give me money to do it. And I'm just like, you're insane. Like, what's wrong with you? Give it to someone that's actually competent at this game. Like, but it really does mean a lot.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Even if a guy comes in and subs once and then doesn't sub again and like just hangs out and chats, like that's huge to me.
Yeah.
Like it's huge. Like, I get to speak to all these people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Like at the time that I stream, a lot of the Aussie boys that I talk to in the afternoons and the evenings when Red Ops is streaming or Ruski's streaming, will come in and say good morning to me when I'm streaming at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, because they're getting up to go to work.
Yeah.
And they'll come in and they'll sit in my chat for an hour and then go, shit, I'm late for work, I'll see you later. And then I'll talk to them 12 hours later after I've slept, got up and gone to the gym.
Yeah.
And then I'm talking to them when it's my morning, and I'm talking to
Yeah.
them when they finish work, and that's insane to me.
Yeah, I'm the
And
same. It
like,
fascinates me. It actually fascinates me, like how how these people want to spend time in my stream and chat to me, and it's amazing. And I'm the same as you. I feel so privileged when people come in and they chat and they have a laugh and a joke and want to play games with us or want to do whatever. I'm exactly the same. And as you say, like literally people come in and and they give you money and I still don't get it. I still don't get it.
But, just like what
Yeah.
are you sure?
Yeah.
Like, I can pay Panic back to
I
you.
know,
Like, don't worry about
right?
it. It's fine. Did you say I mean, give me your Prime subs. That's absolutely fine. That's Bezos's money. You don't need any more of that.
Exactly. Very
But
true.
like, what are you like? Why are you gifting subs to other people to force them to watch me?
Yeah.
Like, are you okay? Like, it's so confusing, but it means so much.
Yeah, definitely. I massively agree. Massively agree. Dude, this has been awesome.
It's been wicked.
Honestly, it's been really, really, and I love doing the podcast, and I love obviously speaking to people. I actually really enjoy stuff like this when I know of you but we don't know each other, because it kind of is a real opening up to both, and I love it. It's been awesome, mate. Like, so really so good. I always say, at the end, is there anything you kind of want to finish on, want to say, anything like that?
Honestly, just thank you very much for having me on, mate. Honestly, it's been a lot of fun, and we should both be bad at Tarkov at some point together.
Definitely, I agree with that. We should definitely do that.
That'd be an awful lot of fun. We can chat some more more stuff, and then I can you can save all my gear because I'm rubbish. But seriously, like, you're doing really good stuff, and hopefully once I've moved into the new place, I'm going to sort out another 24-hour charity stream for this summer.
Mate, yeah, that'd be awesome.
So if you want to do some duos or something on that, then that'll be insane, because I want to try and raise $5,000 this year, and then I've decided to buy a flat at the same time, so it's change jobs. So I've not been able to actually really organise anything other than one, so I'm lagging behind. But yeah,
that's amazing. So
it's been great.
All of the stuff were like, so literally I'll put your Discord, obviously your Twitch channel, any of the Just Giving pages. I'll literally put all of that in the comments for YouTube and Spotify when it goes out. So they're all there for people to kind of jump in. And,
there's not a Just Giving at the moment. There will be one for the 24-hour stream, because I do like one of those Tiltify things, because it just works better with OBS.
Yep, perfect.
No, I really appreciate it, mate, and thank you very much for chatting with me. And seriously, like, if you do need to talk to anyone, talk to one of your mates.
Yep.
Or tell one of your mates you love them, and then if they call you an idiot, call them an idiot. But if people are going through shit, even if it's a 5-minute conversation,
exactly.
Like, I had a mate text me the other day, and he said, I've had a really shit day, and I went, what happened? And he very briefly told me, and then we just started chatting absolute crap, and it helped.
Yeah.
And that stuff's really important. Look out for your mates, because especially blokes, and speaking from experience, I don't talk about my problems.
Yeah.
But someone going, how's your day been? I might talk about it, or them, even just the fact that you thought about it,
Yeah.
It means a lot. Yeah. Kiss all of the homies. It's important.
It is. It's really true. It really
is
that. It really is true, and it is that whole thing of just sometimes you just need a vent, and before it actually builds up, and that is the biggest thing. I did it the other day. I rang a mate of mine, and how are you? Yeah, I'm all right. How are you? Well, I'm having a bit of shit, and I had a proper rant, and then he had a rant, and then that was it. We were back to normal, and happy days. I'll speak to you soon, and and that was it, and. But yeah, you are right. You do. I really believe talking is a big thing, and we've always said this. Like, anyone that kind of wants to talk, and even if you want to talk to someone randomly, like, we've got people in our Discords. I know Mr. Sneaks has got people in his Discord as well. Like, they're always open for people to rant and vent and whatever. 100%. And these Discords, like, places, like as in like ours and Mr. Sneaks, like, really, like, they're safe places. They are. There are some toxic places out there. We all know it. But honestly, yeah. And yeah, mate. Right. I'm gonna sign off. I will literally I'll come back and chat to you in a minute, but I'll sign off. And,
all right, brother.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks
Big
again,
love,
mate.
man.
Cheers, dude.
Thank you very much.
Guys, that was wicked. That was so much fun. So honestly, and it is like people that I meet along the way like this. It's been so good, and the whole kind of idea, and all it was he saw a couple of TikToks and things like that, and was like, I want to kind of be involved, which is amazing. So if anyone does want to get involved with anything, like speak to me, you can always put it in the comments or whatever, and we'd love to get more people on, which is just amazing. So as always, like we did mention, please, if you are struggling to talk to someone, it is just such a big thing to open up, and just it is hard. The hardest step is always the first step, but open up, and it's definitely a good thing. So but yeah, we want to say thanks again to Mr. Snakes for watching, for obviously being here and chatting, for you guys for watching, and as always, look after your mental health, and we'll see you next time.